Every person with or without a disability is first and foremost an individual and should be treated same with others. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities advocates non-discrimination, full and effective participation and inclusion in society, respect for difference, and acceptance of persons with disabilities as part of human diversity. Therefore, people with disabilities do not need to be fixed. They need to be accepted for who they are. So, on this edition of Frontiers, the focus is the implementation of the Disability Act in Nigeria. I am Frama Panyi. Our guest is James David Lalu, Executive Secretary, National Commission for Persons with Disability. It's a pleasure having you join us on the program.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And on this special edition, we have our interpreter, Timothy Tinat. And the program continues in a moment. Please stay tuned. Once more, you're welcome on the program. Now let's get straight into the business of the day. Before we delve into a very critical issue of discourse, can you give an overview of the Nigerian Disability Law?
The Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018 was signed by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari on the 17th of January 2019. Okay. This law, as you see, is the excellent effort of the disability community in Nigeria for 19 years. The struggle has started since the year 2000 with different presidents. This bill has been passed by the National Assembly 3 times, and 3 different presidents denied assent to this bill until President Muhammadu Buhari came in along with the APC government and embraced that bill, signed that bill into law in the year 2019. Moving ahead, on 17th of August 2020, exactly that day, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari approved the appointment of the Executive Secretary and the Governing Council of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. The Commission started proper operation on the 1st of January 2021 when money started flowing in. The Commission has been included in the budget immediately after the approval, and that is how the activities of the Commission have started. Discrimination against persons with disabilities prohibition law, as you see, have different sections. So we have the deals with the discrimination against persons with disabilities, that is section 1. Then from section 2 down to section 19, it is dealing exactly about accessibility for persons with disabilities. It's also touched on the areas of education, touched on different perspectives today. The law is there as wider as it is. It becomes the sole responsibility of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and other governmental agencies to provide the enforce the law accordingly. Discrimination against persons with disabilities have been a very bad omen in Nigeria. It has affected our disability community in different perspectives. As I am here with you today, I can tell you that I am a victim of discrimination against persons with disabilities. And today, that by the grace of God, I have been given the opportunity as the chief defender of the rights of persons with disabilities. It is something that we will stand on. We will leave no stone unturned to make sure that the rights of persons with disabilities are properly protected.
Okay. You mentioned a fine of 1 million naira and 100,000 naira being paid. Who receives this money, government or the victim?
Yes, the usual payment of these times, they pay through the court. What they say is when you are found guilty, according to the competent court of jurisdiction, once you are found guilty by the court, you pay the fine. And when you are going to pay the fine, you pay the fine to the court. And when you pay the fine through the court, you know that it comes into the government as a revenue to the government, okay, necessary to the person with a disability.
Okay. It has been one struggle. Now, still staying with the provisions of the disability law, one thing persons with disabilities face is discrimination, as you have just mentioned, you being a victim of too. What is the penalty for such violations by either an individual or corporate organizations?
As you see, according to the provision section 1 of the law, it says it prohibits totally discrimination against persons with disabilities in whatever perspective. Denying access to anything for the disability community because of their disability is a criminal offense according to the law, and therefore it is punishable once you are found guilty, convicted by a competent court of law. As a corporate organization, the fine is 1 million naira, while for an individual, the fine is 100,000 naira. So when you look around this, we have tried to work on that area to apply the law. That is why we partner with the Nigeria police, we partner with the civil Nigeria security and civil defense. Today, they have established national tax offices in all of the security agencies, and the National Office for the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense are stationed in our own office, with about 16 officers posted to our office to assist the commission. We have then in the 36 states of the federation, each of the headquarters at every state have disability tax officers in the states. We have gathered them all here in Abuja, provided training for them. They are truly working. Now what is expected of us is to extend this to the 774 local governments, where we have all of these tax offices in these places, so the persons with disabilities will truly find go when they come to these agencies to report discrimination against persons with disabilities. Based on our own effort from the national headquarters of the commission, we have developed an application in an Android. When you go to your Android market, just check NCPWD. When you check that, you will see the application. Download the application. Right there from the application, you can do a lot of things. You can report discrimination against persons with disabilities. Once you do that, send it to us immediately. Once it is sent, we will see it in our dashboard. I can personally see that in my phone anywhere I move. And therefore, anywhere I see this issue of discrimination, I report it immediately with their action, and we send it to the security agencies. They will now send it to their state headquarters, and from there they will try to trace where the problem is and approach the problem. What I can tell you is that with our partnership with the security agencies today, there is a lot of fear about discriminating against the rights of persons with disabilities, because once a particular problem is within the community, everybody now see, government is now starting for these people. Government is now starting for these people. Now people fear to discriminate against them. We have a lot of cases about discrimination within the family cycle. It involves some top government officials. I can tell you in some states, discrimination against persons with disabilities have been done by some senators, some governors, and some top government officials. Speakers of House of Assembly, can you imagine that the whole Speaker of House of Assembly can buy a land from a person with disability and refuse to pay the money? I can tell him that he cannot pay the money, let him go and do what he can be able to do. Thank God that the person with disability was able to get our email, and they send a report to our email. We have written to this person, and we told him that if they cannot be able to pay his money, the commission is here. The commission is standing as his own father, and the commission can carry wherever the matters to court, and we are going to settle that in court. And to my amazement, the person quickly paid the money. Can you imagine this? So these things are happening in different places. Some persons with disabilities are denied inheritance within their family cycle just because of their disability. It happened in the Southeast here. One about a person with disability, when their father died, they were sharing inheritance because the person with a disability is blind, because he is the elderly within the family cycle. The younger ones now conspired and they went and killed him. Can you imagine this? So now this matter is still with the security agencies, and we are still pursuing it. We must pursue it to the end of everything to make sure that whoever is found culpable is properly punished according to the law. So the discrimination against persons with disabilities is very rampant within the community, but our partnership with the security agencies is really reducing issues. But we are going to extend this training to them, to the 774 local governments, to train them, then bring out this issue. We are going to use all the electronic means within our reach to make sure that discrimination against persons with disabilities reaches quickly, and we take action as quick as possible to make sure that we settle these issues.
Many Nigerians, are not aware of the provisions of the disability law. What is the Commission doing to create the needed awareness?
According to the provision of the law, it put the responsibility of awareness creation on the Federal Ministry for Information. A collaboration with different aspects. NTA here doing NTA. The National Orientation Agency, we have also collaborated with them. They are also trying their best. We are also working on our side. We have carried awareness creation to the socio-political zones, where we held meetings with different stakeholders about the discrimination against persons with disabilities prohibition law, to make sure that we create the necessary awareness for everybody to know about this. Awareness creation has been there for a period of 5 years. Different non-governmental organizations have also been contributing, doing their best to create awareness about the law. Different simplified versions of the law have been printed and have been distributed. A lot of them are online, and we are doing everything possible about this. We see that with the effort we are making today, about 21 states have also domesticated this law in different states. Okay. Although only about 7 of them have been able to implement it, we keep pushing. We keep pushing. We find a way of meeting with different governors to make sure that they do this, so that we bring these laws down to the grassroots. But now that the time for the proper enforcement has come, we have to just do it together with each and every stakeholder to make sure that we bring sanity in Nigeria and build a country for all citizens, where everybody have equal opportunity to participate accordingly in the development of Nigeria as a country. Thank you.
Mr. Lalu, we'll pause here for a break. The discussion continues when we come back. You're watching Frontiers, and we are taking a look at the implementation of the disability law in Nigeria. The conversation continues shortly. Glad to know you're still there. We pick up our conversation before we went on break. Now, since the law was enacted, how has implementation of the law been like?
Very low. Hello, as you see, it is expected to bring changes. Hello, as you see, it is supposed to bring amendment completely in the way we live. It is not an easy thing. Not everybody will accept the changes as you see, but as long as it is part of the law, as long as it is law, we just have to make the necessary adjustment. We have a lot of challenges when it comes to enforcement. A lot of people are showing resistance to the provisions of the law, but we have to do everything possible. The time for awareness creation, the time for advocacy has gone with the 5-year moratorium. We are now expected to commence the proper enforcement of the law. We have already demanded the Ministry for Justice to add more lawyers to the commission, so that a lot of things can happen. A lot of people who show resistance may be part of the example we will use in court to make sure that the law compliance is enforced accordingly. There are different sections of the law, as you see, but especially in the area of accessibility. We have worked overtime. For the past years, we have worked to develop the National Accessibility Regulation. The National Accessibility Regulation has provide the necessary standardization for accessibility in Nigeria, so that whatever accessibility facility is fitted here in Abuja in a particular building should be the same accessibility facility that is expected to be fitted in a particular building in Kano. And the same accessibility should be placed in Lagos. So that once we have this standardized accessibility facilities, we are going to achieve that. Another area we have also our long-term plan is to make sure that we develop a university degree program on accessibility. Just last week, we had a meeting with the Vice Chancellor of the National State University in Kefi, who visited our office. We had an extensive engagement with him to develop this degree program on accessibility engineering. The accessibility engineering here for us to be able to develop the necessary experts that we need. Today, when you look at our engineers, civil engineers, quantity surveyors, our architects that have been trained from different universities today, they do not understand truly what accessibility really means for the disability community. The first thing that comes to their mind is just RAM. RAM is just one aspect of accessibility. We have different perspectives of accessibility. For the deaf, for the blind, for persons using crutches, persons with wheelchairs, or different categories of disability, we have different accessibility facilities. These are what we have already put them in the National Accessibility Regulation. Now in the National Accessibility Regulation, we are expected to enforce the provisions of this law. We need the expert today in Nigeria. In the meantime, the Commission is expected to commence appropriate training. The Commission will train experts from different ministries. Just like in Nigeria today, we have 36 states of the Federation. Each state have ministries of works. This state ministry of works are expected to appoint 2 or 3 people. The Commission will engage them, train them over the years. The 774 local governments also have their department for works. They must have accessibility for color persons who are expected to be trained by the Commission. When you come to the Universal Basic Education Commission, they also have state offices in the 36 state offices. They have physical planning facilities, offices, which are supposed to be trained. Apart from that, when you come to our tertiary institutions, the universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, all along, they have physical facilities department. These physical facilities department are supposed to be trained on the provisions of accessibility facilities. Accessibility facility is not only supposed to be incorporated in the building after the building is completed, but right from the design of the building, the accessibility facility is supposed to be incorporated from the design of the building. Somebody as an expert, somebody who is an independent consultant is supposed to engage the designers of the building right from the design. Monitor the building throughout the construction activities until completion. Based on the provision of the accessibility regulation, the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities is expected to issue what we call the accessibility compliance certificate. Once a building is assessed, evaluated by our own internal experts from the Commission, we will evaluate the building. If the building is truly accessible for persons with disabilities, you can be issued that certificate. The certificate is expected to be valid for a period of 5 years because accessibility facilities require maintenance. And therefore, after 5 years, the building will still be re-evaluated again to find out whether this building truly, the owner of the building comply with the maintenance of the accessibility facilities that are inserted in this building. So these are part of the compliance the Commission will rise up to do it. It is not only government buildings, it touches schools, private schools, it touches international organization offices, non-governmental organization offices, companies. These are what we call the reasonable accommodation. Each and every place is supposed to comply with the provisions of 5% employment opportunity for persons with disabilities. And therefore, once persons with disabilities are expected to work in that place, the environment is supposed to be accessible, disability friendly for this particular person with disabilities are supposed to work in these places. And therefore, compliance is just necessary for each and every public building. The Commission is expected to commence the enforcement from this month, and we are tightening all our bills to make sure that we start the enforcement.
Now, before I let you go, what are some of the challenges the Commission is facing in advancing the cause of persons with disabilities in Nigeria?
The major challenge the Commission is having today is manpower. The Commission needs more staff. The Commission needs more workers. that are supposed to be spread across the 36 states of the Federation, that are supposed to work closely with the institution to make sure that we monitor compliance with the provisions of the law. Additionally, one of the second challenges is always about funding. The Commission needs more funding to be able to carry out these activities. When you look at the magnitude of the activities, you know the magnitude of the mandate and responsibilities on the Commission, it have to go all over. Today, Nigeria have an estimated population of 35.5 million Nigerians with disabilities. Taking care of these millions with disabilities is another issue. Pushing for the mainstreaming of disability in different aspects is another issue, while provision of disability-specific services is also another issue. Today, the Commission is or have completed negotiation with foreign direct investors who are supposed to come into Nigeria this year, are supposed to set up manufacturing plan for some of our assistive devices, because part of the challenges we continue to face is purchase and distribution of assistive devices. Assistive devices is one of the key areas the disability community truly need. But purchasing of all of these devices have to be imported, Now the cost of dollar and other things are very, very high, make everything too expensive and out of the reach of the disability community. So we are focusing on local manufacturing of these devices. That is why we are attracting these investors to come in. Some of them have already agreed. They have already registered their branches already in Nigeria, and probably operation may commence within the year. We are looking at this so as we can be able to make quality assistive devices to be accessible to persons with disabilities in all places, so that people can be able to go to school, people can be able to participate in businesses, but people can be able to do everything around their environment with the support of assistive devices that are provided to them.
It's been very enlightening discussing with you, Mr. Lalu. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so very much. Thank you
for your time.
Thank you.
On this edition of Frontiers, we have been looking at the disability law and its implementation in Nigeria, and we had as guest James David Lalu, Executive Secretary, National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. I am Frama Hanyi. Thanks for your time.